Brandon Fugal is the billionaire owner of Skinwalker Ranch. Purchased the property in 2016 for $4.5 million. Host of the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch on History Channel. Built his reputation on transparency and scientific investigation. Promised to show everything to the public, until one experiment reportedly went too far. 3 days ago, reports emerged that Brandon Fugal leaked footage from a banned episode. Footage History Channel refused to air. Content deemed too dangerous for public viewing. Sources claim the government pressured the ban. Subscribe because what's on that footage will shock you. The team drilled 287 feet into the mesa, discovered an underground chamber that shouldn't exist, encountered something non-human on camera. Radiation levels forced evacuation. Pentagon classified everything, but Brandon leaked it anyway. Show canceled. Criminal charges pending. This is what they didn't want you to see, and it's darker than anyone thought. Skinwalker Ranch is a 512-acre property located in the Uinta Basin of northeastern Utah. Documented paranormal activity has occurred there since the 1950s, though Native American legends about the land go back centuries. The Ute tribe won't set foot on the property, calling it the Path of the Skinwalker, and considering the land cursed. The Sherman family owned the ranch from 1994 to 1996 and experienced horrific phenomena including cattle mutilations, poltergeist activity, and unexplained lights. They sold to billionaire aerospace entrepreneur Robert Bigelow after just 2 years. Bigelow owned the ranch from 1996 to 2016, funding extensive scientific investigation through NIDS, the National Institute for Discovery Science. 20 years of classified research was conducted with government contracts involved, but results were never fully disclosed to the public. Most of Bigelow's findings remain secret to this day. In 2016, real estate billionaire Brandon Fugal purchased the property for $4.5 million and promised complete transparency, stating, "The public deserves to know the truth about what happens there." Brandon assembled a top scientific team including Dr. Travis Taylor, an astrophysicist, Eric Bard as principal investigator, and Dr. Bryant Dragon Arnold, a physicist. They equipped the ranch with state-of-the-art monitoring equipment. The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch premiered on History Channel in 2020, documenting all investigations across 5 seasons. The show revealed UAP phenomena, radiation anomalies, electromagnetic disturbances, and cattle mutilations. Everything seemed to be shown to the public without censorship. The banned episode was Season 4, Episode 13, filmed in September 2023 and scheduled as the Season 5 premiere. The episode was titled "What Lies Beneath," but never made it to broadcast. It was pulled 3 weeks before the air date, with History Channel giving no explanation. Then rumors started circulating about government involvement in suppressing the footage. The experiment involved the team drilling deep into the mesa following an electromagnetic anomaly. Ground-penetrating radar had shown a cavity 300 feet below the surface, a structure that shouldn't exist naturally. The team decided to drill down to reach the anomaly and discover what was there. At 287 feet, they hit the cavity. Radiation levels spiked immediately from normal background to 10 times normal, then 50 times, then 100 times normal. Evacuation was ordered as equipment was lowered into the cavity with a camera descending into the darkness. What that camera captured changed everything. The drill site was sealed immediately. The team was briefly hospitalized for radiation exposure. Government officials arrived within 24 hours, and the footage was confiscated. Or so the government thought. Brandon Fugal kept a copy. History Channel producers reviewed the footage and immediately recognized this was different from anything previously filmed at the ranch. Senior executives were called in for an emergency meeting. The legal team was consulted and the decision was made: do not air this episode. But the decision wasn't solely the network's. The government stepped in quickly. Within 48 hours of filming, the Department of Defense contacted History Channel claiming it was a matter of national security. The Pentagon requested that all footage be classified immediately. History Channel initially resisted, but pressure intensified with veiled threats being made. The network ultimately complied with government demands. History Channel's official reasons were vague corporate language, safety concerns for viewers, potential public panic, ongoing investigation, and not appropriate for broadcast. But insiders knew the truth. The government had ordered the ban, not the network itself. The government's classified concerns centered on what the footage actually showed. The underground structure wasn't a natural formation and wasn't human construction either. The implications were catastrophic, raising questions about who built it, when they built it, why they built it, and whether they're still there. The documented radiation exposure of team members proved the danger was real, but also proved something underground was emitting massive amounts of radiation that the government wanted hidden from public knowledge. National security implications were significant. Skinwalker Ranch sits near Dugway Proving Ground, a military testing facility, and also near Hill Air Force Base with restricted airspace overhead. If something beneath the ranch was affecting military operations, national security was genuinely threatened and needed to be contained immediately. The footage also showed correlation between the underground structure and UAP appearances above ground, as if they were connected. This potentially validated portal theories. Were craft coming from underground? Had the government known about this for decades and been hiding it? Public panic was a genuine concern. If the footage aired showing proof of non-human intelligence with an active base beneath United States soil, mass panic was likely. The religious implications alone could destabilize society. The scientific paradigm would be shattered. Government officials determined society was unprepared for this revelation, and it was better to suppress the information. Robert Bigelow's 20-year classified investigation suddenly made sense. He knew something was there. That's why he bought the ranch and worked with the government, keeping everything classified. Brandon Fugal was now discovering what Bigelow already knew and what the government had been hiding for decades. Brandon was required to sign a national security NDA, not just a network agreement, but federal classification. Violation would constitute a federal crime with possible imprisonment. The entire team was forced to sign similar agreements. History Channel told Brandon directly, "This episode will never air. Delete all copies or face serious consequences." The footage appeared 3 days ago on an encrypted website through an anonymous but sophisticated upload. 12 minutes of raw footage immediately went viral and was shared across multiple platforms. The government is attempting to remove it everywhere, but it's too late. The footage is now everywhere and unstoppable. The opening sequence shows the drilling operation in progress with the team surrounding the drill site. Travis Taylor monitors readings while Eric Bard runs equipment and dragon checks radiation levels. At depth, 287 feet, someone says, "We're about to breach the cavity." Excitement is obvious in everyone's voices. The breach moment occurs at the 2-minute mark. The drill breaks through and immediate changes register on all monitoring equipment. Radiation spikes from 0.1 millisieverts to 10 millisieverts instantly. The team notices immediately with someone saying, "That's not normal." Concern grows rapidly as radiation continues climbing to 50 millisieverts, then 100 millisieverts within seconds. Travis yells, "Everyone back!" and the team retreats from the drill site as alarms sound and Geiger counters scream. Genuine panic is evident as the evacuation unfolds. Despite the danger, a decision is made to lower a camera into the cavity using remote operation from a safe distance. The camera descends slowly through the drilled shaft, 287 feet down into complete darkness before lights activate. What the camera reveals is shocking. A massive underground chamber that is clearly not a natural cave formation. The walls appear artificial with smooth metallic surfaces visible. Strange geometric patterns cover the walls, symbols or writing in no known language, glowing faintly in the darkness. The chamber is approximately 50 feet across with a dome-shaped ceiling. A central structure is visible that looks like technology but not any machinery we recognize. It's still active and glowing while emitting a humming sound that's audible through the camera's audio. This structure is clearly the source of the radiation. At the 10-minute mark, movement is detected. Something is inside the chamber with the camera. The camera pans and a figure appears, humanoid in basic shape but completely wrong in proportion. It's extremely tall, estimated at 8 feet, with thin, elongated limbs and a disproportionately large head. The reaction is immediate. Travis screams, "Pull it up now!" and the team begins yanking the camera back toward the surface. The figure moves toward the camera with incredible speed that shouldn't be physically possible. It reaches toward the lens and a hand becomes visible. It has too many fingers, clearly not human. Then the footage abruptly cuts to black. Audio continues briefly. Heavy breathing is audible. Someone asks, "What was that?" Another voice says, "We need to leave." Travis commands, "Seal the hole now." Sounds of equipment moving follow. Then complete silence as the footage ends. The footage appeared 3 days ago on an encrypted website through an anonymous but sophisticated upload. 12 minutes of raw footage immediately went viral and was shared across multiple platforms. The government is attempting to remove it everywhere, but it's too late. The footage is now everywhere and unstoppable. The opening sequence shows the drilling operation in progress with the team surrounding the drill site. Travis Taylor monitors readings while Eric Bard runs equipment and dragon checks radiation levels. At depth, 287 feet, someone says, "We're about to breach the cavity." Excitement is obvious in everyone's voices. The breach moment occurs at the 2-minute mark. The drill breaks through and immediate changes register on all monitoring equipment. Radiation spikes from 0.1 millisieverts to 10 millisieverts instantly. The team notices immediately with someone saying, "That's not normal." Concern grows rapidly as radiation continues climbing to 50 millisieverts, then 100 millisieverts within seconds. Travis yells, "Everyone back!" and the team retreats from the drill site as alarms sound and Geiger counters scream. Genuine panic is evident as the evacuation unfolds. Despite the danger, a decision is made to lower a camera into the cavity using remote operation from a safe distance. The camera descends slowly through the drilled shaft 287 feet down into complete darkness before lights activate. What the camera reveals is shocking. A massive underground chamber that is clearly not a natural cave formation. The walls appear artificial with smooth metallic surfaces visible. Strange geometric patterns cover the walls, symbols or writing in no known language, glowing faintly in the darkness. The chamber is approximately 50 feet across with a dome-shaped ceiling. A central structure is visible that looks like technology, but not any machinery we recognize. It's still active and glowing while emitting a humming sound that's audible through the camera's audio. This structure is clearly the source of the radiation. At the 10-minute mark, movement is detected. Something is inside the chamber with the camera. The camera pans and a figure appears, humanoid in basic shape but completely wrong in proportion. It's extremely tall, estimated at 8 feet, with thin, elongated limbs and a disproportionately large head. The reaction is immediate. Travis screams, "Pull it up now!" and the team begins yanking the camera back toward the surface. The figure moves toward the camera with incredible speed that shouldn't be physically possible. It reaches toward the lens and a hand becomes visible. It has too many fingers, clearly not human. Then the footage abruptly cuts to black. Audio continues briefly. Heavy breathing is audible. Someone asks, "What was that?" Another voice says, "We need to leave." Travis commands, "Seal the hole now." Sounds of equipment moving follow. Then complete silence as the footage ends. History Channel was alerted within hours of the leak appearing online. Emergency PR meetings were convened, and the legal team was activated immediately. The network issued statements calling it unauthorized release and stolen proprietary footage, while filing copyright strikes and removal requests everywhere. But the footage continues spreading faster than they can remove it. The official History Channel statement was carefully worded, "Aware of leaked material. Episode never approved. Investigating security breach. Protecting cast safety. Taking legal action." Standard corporate language with notably no mention of government involvement. The Pentagon's involvement became public when the Department of Defense issued an extremely unusual statement declaring classified material released and criminal investigation underway, with national security compromised. The FBI was brought in with the Cybercrime Division, treating this as potential espionage. The search for the leak source began immediately. Only Brandon's team and government officials had access to the footage. Forensic analysis is ongoing with IP addresses being traced, but the upload used VPN and encrypted networks, making identification difficult. Everyone suspects Brandon because he's the only person with clear motive. He has publicly stated his belief in transparency, saying, "Truth should be known." He has access to raw footage, the technical sophistication to upload anonymously, and the timing is suspicious, coming after government pressure intensified. Brandon's response on social media was cryptic but telling, "The truth will not be buried. The public deserves to know what's beneath our feet, regardless of consequences." This wasn't quite an admission, but heavily implied his involvement, making the government furious. Federal prosecutors are now involved, invoking the Espionage Act. If Brandon is the source and they can prove it, he faces possible criminal charges with 10+ years imprisonment, massive financial penalties, and the ranch could be seized by the government. The impact on the show has been severe. Season 5 production is halted indefinitely. The future of the entire series is uncertain. Team members are under investigation and can't film new episodes. History Channel is waiting for government clearance to proceed. The show may be permanently canceled. Public reaction has been massive, with mainstream news covering the story worldwide. Government cover-up and "What's at Skinwalker Ranch" are trending globally with millions of views. The government has launched a disinformation campaign claiming footage is fabricated and calling it a clever CGI hoax. But experts disagree, saying the footage appears authentic. Ute tribe oral history speaks of the path of the Skinwalker, where the ground itself is cursed as a portal to another world. According to ancient knowledge passed through generations, beings come from below the earth, not from the sky. The tribe has avoided this land for centuries, based on this sacred knowledge. The Sherman family purchased the ranch in 1994 and immediately experienced cattle mutilations, poltergeist activity in their home, and strange lights appearing to come from underground rather than the sky. They observed objects emerging from the ground itself before selling the property after just 2 years. with Terry Sherman stating, "That land is evil." Robert Bigelow bought the ranch in 1996 and conducted NIDS investigation using ground-penetrating radar that detected anomalies and multiple cavities at various depths. These findings were never publicly revealed and remain classified. The AAWSAP program, Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, was Pentagon-funded with a $22 million budget, specifically to study Skinwalker Ranch from 2008 to 2010 officially, though it continued secretly afterward. The program focused heavily on underground phenomena, but results were never disclosed publicly. Dr. Colm Kelleher, NIDS Deputy Administrator who wrote Hunt for the Skinwalker, documented extensive phenomena including underground activity. He told Brandon directly, "You need to look down, not up, below the mesa specifically. Something's been there a long time." Previous drilling attempts over the years experienced consistent equipment failures with drill bits breaking mysteriously and unexplained resistance occurring at specific depths around 300 feet. Every attempt was stopped until this recent breakthrough. Electromagnetic anomalies have been concentrated beneath Homestead 2 and the Triangle area for years. EMF spikes off the charts appear to pulse with a rhythm like a heartbeat, coming from deep below rather than surface level. Radiation hotspots have been documented moving across the property following underground patterns. Team members have been affected before, with Travis suffering burns from invisible sources above the mesa area, but the source may actually be below ground. The portal theory suggests UAPs aren't flying away but vanishing instantly, possibly through portals connected to an underground base or another dimension entirely. Independent researchers and nearby homeowners report similar experiences throughout the entire Uinta Basin, suggesting a massive underground network affecting the entire region. Multiple forensic video analysts examined the footage frame by frame, searching for CGI, editing, or manipulation. No evidence of tampering was found. Compression artifacts are normal, metadata checks as authentic, and timestamps are verified. Expert consensus: this appears genuine. Dr. Gary Nolan, a Stanford immunologist who studies UAP effects, reviewed the radiation readings and stated, "Levels are extraordinary. No natural source exists for this. Would require nuclear material or unknown technology." Geologists examined the underground chamber walls visible in the footage. The chamber is not a natural cave formation. It's too symmetrical. The surface appears manufactured with unknown metallic composition. Professional conclusion: this was built by someone or something. Linguists studied the geometric patterns and markings visible on the chamber walls. The symbols are not any known language, not Native American scripts, and not ancient human writing systems. Computer analysis is inconclusive. The patterns are similar to crop circle geometry. Origin: unknown. Biologists examined the figure captured on camera. Body proportions were measured, showing approximately 8 feet tall with extremely thin build. The limbs are too long for human anatomy, and the head is disproportionately large. The hand clearly shows 6 to 7 fingers. Analysis confirms, not human anatomy. Movement analysis calculated the entity moved over 15 feet in under 1 second without any running motion. It appeared to glide or float. The physics are unclear. Professional assessment: shouldn't be possible with known biomechanics. Dr. Travis Taylor eventually commented publicly, "I'm a scientist. I've worked on classified programs. This exceeds anything I've encountered. Technology centuries ahead of ours, or not human origin at all. Both possibilities terrify me." Former Pentagon official Luis Elizondo, the former ATIP director, weighed in. "Consistent with what I've seen in classified programs. Government knows about this and has known for decades. The public deserves truth." He supports Brandon's decision to leak the footage. Skeptics claim this is an elaborate hoax with financial motive since Brandon owns the ranch and the show generates revenue. However, most experts disagree, pointing to too many witnesses, documented medical evidence, and most tellingly, the government's aggressive response proves authenticity. If it were fake, why would the Pentagon be involved? Brandon Fugal purchased Skinwalker Ranch for science with a stated mission of complete transparency and discovering truth for humanity. He built his career on integrity as a real estate billionaire who doesn't need money from the show. He wants a legacy of truth and genuine discovery. Pentagon officials visited the ranch the day after the discovery and demanded all footage, claiming national security concerns. Brandon resisted, arguing, The public has right to know what's been discovered. He was threatened with legal action and even potential criminal charges if he didn't comply. For weeks afterward, an intimidation campaign ensued with phone calls, visits, lawyers getting involved, and History Channel being pressured to cancel the show unless Brandon complies. Financial pressure was even applied to Brandon's other business ventures to force his cooperation. Brandon faced an impossible choice: sign a federal NDA or face severe consequences including career destruction and loss of freedom. But he kept asking himself, what about truth? What about humanity? If something exists beneath the ranch, people deserve to know. The tipping point came when government officials admitted to Brandon, "We've known for years about the underground structure. Bigelow worked with us, all classified. You stumbled into an ongoing operation." This revelation angered Brandon deeply, realizing the cover-up had been ongoing for decades. After the leak, Brandon posted a full explanation on social media. "I purchased Skinwalker Ranch to discover truth, not to hide it. The government has kept secrets for decades. That ends now." The consequences Brandon faces are severe. Federal criminal investigation with espionage charges possible, carrying 10 to 20 years in prison, potential financial ruin, show cancellation, ranch seizure, and reputation destruction. Brandon knew all of this before leaking. He did it anyway because some discoveries are bigger than one person. Humanity deserves answers about who we are, where we came from, and who shares this planet with us. My freedom is a small price for that truth. The team supports Brandon's decision. Travis Taylor stated, "Brandon did the right thing." Eric Bard agreed, "Truth matters most." Dragon added, "Science requires transparency." The entire team is standing with Brandon despite their own legal risks, unified in principle over self-preservation.